is the Big O Show. This 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 is...
There's many ways to support our program, from subscribing and liking the show to visiting our terrific sponsors. Another way is using Cash App. If you would like to donate to the show and help us grow, download Cash App and search Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We appreciate your support as we continue to build the best sports show on the planet for South Florida sports fans. Support the big...
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls. Yes, I hope you all had a great weekend. It is time for the program. Time to have a little fun and talk some sports. And don't you guys feel in a way that you're kind of like a volcano right now if you're a Dolphins fan? Right? I mean, because that's what I feel like. I feel like a volcano, and it's just ready to erupt, because I'm expecting a big season from the Fish this year. I have expectations finally. You know what I mean? I got a team to look forward to. I got a real coaching staff to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? It's just, now I woke up today thinking about that, going, I know we're still, a couple weeks away from the start of training camp, which I can't wait for the start of training camp, right? And I'm looking forward to watching Tua and watching the O-line and watching the defense hopefully come back with another great year. And it's just one of those where there's just a giddy up in my step a little bit this year in this offseason. And listen, I always look forward to football season every year. It's a drug. You know what I mean? It's something that I need. I love, freaking football, and I love the Miami Dolphins. Nobody loves the Dolphins like I do, but it's just one of those things that this year, the anticipation for it, like 2 years ago, I tripped out a lot of you out there because I looked forward to that first season under Flores, and people were like, how can you look forward to this? They're going to lose a lot of games. And I was looking forward to the process of all of this, of watching it be built the right way from scratch. And that's what's been going on with Chris Greer and Brian Flores and company. They're building it the right way from scratch. And they're in year 3 now. So I become that much more pumped up about this Dolphin season as the days go on and as we get closer. Listen, I know the guys need rest, and it's good for Tua to have it off, and it's good for the linemen to have it off. And I'm sure everybody's got to get ready for the upcoming season. But I got to, and with the X situation, it doesn't put a damper on it whatsoever, because I feel like, remember how we've talked about this, that Flores has some characteristics that are Shula-like, He didn't have X in his first year, and his team got better in the second half of the season. The defense got better, and they played maybe, so far, that's still the most important game that they've played. That last game in year one where you go to New England and you knock them out in a game they needed badly, okay, because they wanted that bye week. And Miami stopped them from getting that bye week and stopped the best quarterback in the history of the NFL in beating them. You know what I mean? So all these little kind of moments that have built up to this season, okay? I'm not one of those that, to me, I thought Tua had a really good year last year overall. Considering everything that went on, I love what I saw from those guys. I like what I saw from the offensive line. Do they need to improve? Hell yeah. But they're young, they're green, they were a bunch of rookies, and they didn't have an offseason. And overall, I thought they did a pretty good job. I thought Myles Gaskin was a really nice find for this team. I know he had the injury, but the kid was really productive. That defense was absolutely outstanding. The rise of Andrew Van Ginkel, Emmanuel Ogbah, you know what I mean? Wilkins continues to improve. All of these things that went on, and that to me is, I wake up every day now dying for this offseason for the preseason to start in training camp. Now, listen, of course I want the regular season, but I just can't wait for training camp. I can't wait for the boys to report and get it going because, yes, I'm enjoying the NBA finals and I'm watching some baseball. And obviously we'll watch the All-Star game tomorrow. Enjoyed the hockey Stanley Cup, and congratulations to Tampa Bay and all of that. I'm enjoying Euros, watching the Euros, all of this stuff. I'm watching it and I love it and I enjoy all of that. Okay. Don't get me wrong. But to me, there's no drug like the Dolphin football season. And this year, more than any other year I got to go back to when I was a teenager. Okay. I got to go back to the Marino years. I got to go back to, those kind of teams that, I had that kind of feeling every year. You know what I'm saying? But the last 20 years has been so rough on us. And we haven't had that moment that we get to look forward to because it's always been really nervous about the season. Like, who the hell is this Joe Philbin guy? And, John Beck and, all these kind of things that we've gone through over the years in the last 20 that are just disturbing and just didn't make me feel confident because I had no confidence in years past. Any of you that follow this show, you know that. I had confidence that they would suck. I had confidence that they'd screw everything up. I had confidence that they were incompetent. Now I have all the confidence that they're competent. I have all the confidence that they're headed in the right direction. I have all the confidence that this is going to be a damn good team this year, And so that's kind of what I woke up today feeling like that because while I'm reading about all of this, in the back of my mind, it's coming front and center and saying, okay, this is all nice, but dude, Dolphin season is a couple of weeks away and I cannot wait. So I don't know how many of you are feeling the same thing I am, but that's kind of the way I woke up this morning. And the sad part is, okay, it's only the 12th. we got to wait till the 31st till they at least report, you know what I'm saying? And we still got to wait till, the beginning of September till they start the season. So we're still a little bit away, but I got to tell you, I that's the one thing that I just, I'm looking at all these sports and I'm, preparing for the show. And we got OmarKelly joining us at the bottom of the hour for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Franco Panizo is going to join us at noon. Talk a little InterMiami. I mean, there's a bunch of things to talk about outside of it. You know what I'm saying? I was reading Ira's article on Achua and KZ Okpala and even Gabe Vincent with the Nigerian team and how well they're playing. And obviously they just had an upset of the USA. And so all of these things going on. And it's great. It's fun. It's nice to see that Ochua's working on his game in the offseason and KZ Okpala, who we've heard so much about, but we really didn't get to see enough to like whet our appetite and say, well, yeah, maybe they found some, but everybody else thinks they found something there, right? Obviously, Mike Brown. I mean, the quotes that Mike Brown had in that Ira Winderman article in the South Florida Sun Sentinel were fantastic. I don't know if you guys saw it, but while I'm reading all of that, It's nice. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice. Pablo yesterday, 9 straight strikeouts. That's nice. Can't wait for Dolphin season. That's just everything that I could think about every time I was preparing this morning. And I'm just wondering how many of you are feeling the same thing out there. By the way, we do want to remind you to like the hell out of that button, please. All right, hit that like button because it is extremely important that you like that like button and support the show, because that's another way of supporting our show is hitting that like button. Get the algorithms going, get other Dolphin fans to find out about it, Heat fans, Marlin fans, Panther fans, Canes fans, Inter-Miami fans, so they can find out about the show that is truly dedicated to South Florida sports, unlike the garbage that you have on radio now that you don't even need to listen to anymore. We are here for you every single day, and we're going to put together the best guests covering all of your local stories, which is what we want. And we know we have South Florida fans all over the world, so we can connect here on Yahoo. I'm trying to figure out a way to get the audio stream live every day also for you guys. I know that if you get YouTube Premium, I think it is, or whatever, you can shut it down like the video and you can listen to the audio straight up and you don't have to watch the video. I mean, not that you want to watch this video. I mean, seriously. No, I mean, I don't even know how my wife wants to watch this. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, whatever. So we're trying to figure out, little by little, we're trying to add more and more to the show as always. And any business owners out there that want to be a part of our program and want to be a part of sponsoring our show and team up with us in creating the best local sports talk show in South Florida and all over the world, please reach out to us there. You can reach out to me on my DMs there on Twitter at Big O Show. Remember, the YouTube chat board is there always for you guys to comment. Cash App is the other way to support us. Rather you use Cash App than the Super Chat. The Cash App, the show gets the entire donation. You go to Super Chat, we lose 30% of it. So if you can, send it in on Cash App. Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. So many different ways to support us. And remember to follow on Twitter at Big O Show, baby. All right, let me do a little roll call here, since we always have folks lining up in the mornings and they got questions and maybe sometimes we have answers for them. Steve Chapman was number one. I mean, he chimed in at 9:02 in the morning. Nice job by you, Steve. NorCal is in. He says, good morning, the Big O crew. John Rouse is in the house. Matthew Walker, Antonio Matos, Ian from Brooklyn. John Santos says, good morning. NorCal says, I got an old school pick to send you. Fins for life. Well, send it, baby. Send it in. Let's see. GP Trap says, good morning, Big O Nation. Hit that like button. That's right, baby. Hit that like button. Troy Ortiz is in. Man of 1,005 holds says, congrats on 3K subscriptions, Big O. Let's go. Let's build them 3Ks up, baby. And I got to lose a little weight here. I'm going to start working on a little lifestyle change here. So I have to put on, I promised you when we started the podcast before that if we get to 3K that I'd put on my Culture Club shirt. So I gotta lose a little weight so I can squeeze into that Culture Club shirt. But I will. I promise you. Marta is in the house. Good morning, Marta. Thank you for joining us. Ian says, I feel you, but it ain't football. Bones says, I feel the same way, Big O. Sean Campbell, currently going through withdrawals. I'm with you, Sean. I'm with you, man. I know you're a wicked Dolphin fan like I am, so I appreciate you there. Marta says, I'm dying for the season to start. Haven't been this excited in years. I think a lot of us are, man. Lisa Rose is in. Good morning, she says. And Lisa, hang in there. Your Suns only need one, okay? So losing last night is not a big deal. Milwaukee had to do it, so they just got to steal one. If they can steal the next one, they're in great shape. Trey Mateer is in. Weapon X United. He chimes in with a little super chat. Thank you, Weapon X United. I appreciate you, my brother, Very kind of you to send us in a little super chat. He says, good morning, Big O. I'm here in Washington, D.C., spreading the love to the 305 family over here, telling them all about your show. We'll get Cash App when get back. LOL. There you go. Appreciate you, man. Either way, we thank you for sending it in and supporting us in a big time way. The Cash App thing is super easy. You download it in 1 minute, the app, and you sign in. It's like super easy to sign in. And it's kind of the same thing you do with Super Chat, except, and it's a lot easier that this way you might end up using the Cash App for a family member, a friend, or something like that anyway, because it's a very popular app to send each other money. You know what I mean? Somebody's getting you a concert ticket, you can like send your buddy the money and here you go, bro, on Cash App, and boom, and they get the money right away, which is really, really cool. So thank you all out there. Willie Molina says, good morning, counting down to the first scrimmage versus Atlanta. I'm with you, man. I cannot wait for the Dolphin football season. So appreciate all of you out there with a little roll call and supporting the show any way that you can. Got a bunch of things to talk about today. We're going to have OmarKelly, of course, at the bottom of the hour with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Got a couple things I want to ask him. Marlins, by the way, they defeated the Braves 7-4. Pablo Lopez, a major league record, right? 9 straight strikeouts for him. The funny part was he didn't pick up a strikeout after that. So it's you get your first 3 innings. He went 6 innings, so the next 3 innings didn't get another strikeout after that, which is, kind of weird. But he was on a roll. I mean, 9 straight is still amazing. He did win, so he got his record back to 500 at 5-5. Went 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 9 Ks. Jesus Aguilar had 4 RBIs, including the 3-run homer in the first inning. So we got the All-Star break now, and then when they come back on Friday, they will start a set with the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll see if they can start winning a little more here in this second half. It's going to be tough, man. They just don't have enough bats. They just don't. And their pitching, their starting pitching has just been absolutely outstanding, man. But, it's a young team. Let's see what kind of commitments they can make this offseason to really – what you want to do is give people hope. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what I talked about now, why I'm so freaking pumped about the Dolphins season, because I have more confidence than I've ever had in the Dolphins in a quarter century. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. I feel good about the organization, feel good about the direction that they're going in. The Marlins, they have a couple of nice pieces. Now you've got to start to add a little bit more to it so you can create hope for your fan base, man. Look, I don't care what anybody tells me, whether you're the Panthers or you're the Marlins or you're InterMiami, you're going to have a chance to build a huge fan base if you win and entertain. Not have to win a championship, but you got to show consistency. And the Panthers did that this year. Now they got to follow it up with another year like this, and I think you start to win more of the crowd over. And the Marlins too. Look, the Marlins and InterMiami are in a really difficult position. Let me explain something to you all out there. Marlins, okay? Listen to me, and Inter. If they don't turn things around in the next couple of weeks here, I wouldn't be surprised if newspapers start pulling out their beat reporters. And you'll have one less beat reporter or 2. I don't even know. I don't even think you have 3 on the Inter one. You only have one in Dade with not Dade with the Herald in Michelle, and then you've got one in the Sun Sentinel, right, with Kobe, and then you've got Franco Panizo who's going to join us at noon. That's it. That's their beat people. Now, Franco won't go off the beat, but maybe one of those other 2, they take him off the beat and they put him on something else like football that's more important. That's going to get more views. So it's really important for the Marlins. I don't think they'll take Jordan McPherson out. But if David Wilson or any of the other guys that or ladies that go to the Marlins, they might pull them now and they might put them on another beat. So that's where you have to be very careful when you're the Panthers, which they've already lost beat writers. They don't have one from the Palm Beach Post. Palm Beach Post doesn't have anything except football. That's it. They don't even have a beat writer for basketball anymore. That's how bad it is. So those kind of clubs like Inter, like the Marlins, and the Panthers, they've got to pick it up and be consistent so they can get some of that attention, because if not, you know what's going to happen. It's the Dolphins, it's the Heat, it's the Canes. They're going to get all the attention, and deservedly so. And with the limited reporters that they have, I just wouldn't be surprised if things like that happen, where you end up losing out. By the way, I do have to give a little love out there for giving us a little love, as Earl Mateer chimes in on a Cash App. Thank you, Earl. Very nice of you for chiming in on the Cash App. And by the way, just in case I did not mention it last week, because I think they came in like late, but Devin Jordan, thank you. You sent in a Cash App. Jimmy Amaya, thank you, sir. You also sent in a Cash App. And Emmanuel Anibal also sending in a Cash App. So I appreciate all of you chiming in with the Cash Apps. I think that was on Friday towards the end of it, and I guess I didn't catch it at that moment. But Earl, thank you, my man. I appreciate you sending in a little Cash App and giving us a little love there on the Cash App, man. Very nice of you, and very needed, obviously. So appreciate it. So they got to be careful. They got to be careful. They're treading dangerous waters right now. Inter and baseball, they've got to make themselves sexy, because if the papers don't get a lot of movement, it doesn't make sense for them to cover something that they're not getting the kind of response that they would want. You know what I'm saying? And that's where Inter and that's where baseball has to be extremely careful. Hockey looks like, I think Zito figured it out. I think Zito have figured out this team. So I think they're going to come back and have another great year next year. It's just, let's hope they don't have to run into Tampa Bay early in the playoffs, because damn, Tampa is good, man. You got to give Tampa credit, man. That's what it's all about. You just got to give Tampa a lot of love for what's gone on, man. I mean, it is what it is. Brooklyn Rob says, morning, folks. Great day. Italy winning the Euros. And, let me talk a little bit, and it's more of a side story to all of this for the Euros. And congratulations to the Italians winning it. But I got to tell you something. Watching the behavior of the English fans after, and the disgusting stuff that's being spewed by English fans to some of the young cats that ended up missing some of these PKs, and the racist undertones, or actually racist tones of it, not undertones, racist tones of it, because it's pretty damn obvious. I almost, after watching that, like, I don't care which one wins, okay? I'm not rooting for the Italians, and I'm not rooting for England. But after watching that behavior, wow, the right side won. Holy crap. I mean, just pure scumbags. Seriously, I mean, give me a break, dude. Just congratulate the other side. It is what it is. Although I'll give you something that I found a little funny. I don't know how many of you thought about the same thing, but I'm kind of cynical. So David Beckham is on the sidelines. He's in the stands watching the Euros, right? He's there, hanging out with Tom Cruise and company and all that. And after the game is over, and they show Bex and all that, I'm wondering if Bex in his mind is going, first Inter and now this, I'm just, because obviously Inter's not having a good year, and I'm sure that's not what Beckham wants. Beckham is like, he wants to be associated with winning. He wants to be associated with, good things right now. And InterMiami is, unfortunately struggling in a big time, struggling, as Joe Namath would say, in a big time way. So I'm sure he's frustrated as hell, right? Having to deal with this season. And then he's watching the Euros, and he's watching his country go down. And so I'm just wondering, in his mind, he's going, damn, dude, I have to deal with my club, and now look at this in the Euros, and we end up losing, that kind of stuff. I just thought it was kind of funny. English fans attack Italians fans as well after the match. Classless and don't deserve to host an international final. I agree with you, Brooklyn Rob. I mean, is there anything worse than the English hooligans? right? There really isn't. Like, that's the worst set of fans. We can say what we want about the Eagles fans, right? Because they're pretty disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jets fans are annoying. Gators fans are annoying. Notre Dame fans are annoying, but they're not criminals. You know, Philadelphia, they will tear down their entire city. They will, beat you up if you're wearing another jersey. I mean, the scumbaggery of Eagles fans knows no bounds. You know what I'm saying? So they are the English hooligans of the United States, basically, Eagles fans. You know, that's why at the Vet, they don't have it in the new stadium, but in the old stadium, they had the jail. And they had to, just because you have so many of those idiots. But the English fans, dude, they are just as disgusting as it gets. Seriously. And the reaction, I mean, it's a sport, man. These people are trying their best. They're not trying to lose. They're not trying to embarrass anybody. It's like Colombia when, what is it? Escobar is the name of the kid, right? Was it Escobar? He misses. He has I'm sorry. It was the own goal. And they end up killing him at a bar. Bill Buckner has to live with it. It's worse than anything else. Anything that whatever fans could say, Bill Buckner's got to live with that ball rolling under his feet or between his legs, shall I say. He's the one that's got to live with it. It doesn't matter what a Boston Red Sox fan says to him. That dude's got to live with that nightmare every day of his life. That's enough torture as it is for the poor man. They don't need you to go slamming the guy, and especially you English idiots. They don't need your disgusting, vile language and racist tones to it all. I mean, give me a break, dude. It really is amazing to me how we have this crap still go on and people take it that serious. Death threats and stuff, and you get so outraged and you're crushing your TV. And I mean, give me a break. Get a life, man. Get laid. Have some fun. Roll a big fat one and sit back and relax on a bad day. Maybe you'll feel better. But using racist language, breaking your TV, attacking people, destroying property, that's just not the way, really, you want to get over something or celebrate something. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's the part that after watching that behavior, I am so glad Italy won. Really, I am incredibly glad that Italy won. I shake my feet and then the screen shakes. It's not an earthquake. That's me, my feet. The people crushing their TVs are probably the dumbasses who bet their life savings on the game. Probably. Yeah. Yeah. Bones says, yeah, roll one and chill. Amen, bro. Give me a break. Have a stiff drink and shut the hell up already. Maybe Beckham should stay out of personnel decisions. Listen, man, it's how many times have we run into the great player that doesn't mean that he's going to be a great personnel guy, right? We've seen that over and over again. Great players don't make the best coaches. They're usually the worst coaches. They usually fail. Very few great players make the transition to being a great coach. Hell, it might even happen more in soccer than it does in any other sport, but still, it's mostly failure. So yeah, I'm with you there. It's crazy. Steve says he's checking in from Pensacola. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you checking in. Thank you all out there for always keeping it locked here on the program. We really, really appreciate all of you out there immensely, man. Can't say enough about what you're doing out there to support us. All right. Remember, you can reach out to us on the YouTube chat board. Send in any questions, comments, insults, you name it. We will address them. Of course, you can email us always, bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. That's bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. You got a question, send it in. We'll check it out. Twitter, Big O Show. You got a question there or a comment, we will read it. We will answer it also there on the show. So there's many ways to get in contact with the program. And then, of course, a great way to support us is by Cash App. It's Cash Big O Show on Cash App. That's Cash Big O Show. And also, we are going to be joined by OmarKelly here at the bottom of the hour. So we'll talk to Omar and get into a couple of NFL issues, a couple of Dolphin issues, obviously, that we want to talk about as we get ready for this upcoming season. And remember, all season long, we're going to have Omar on twice a week. We're going to have Kyle Krabs on every Wednesday starting in August. We had Kyle on last week to kind of make that announcement. Ira Winderman starting in August will join us twice a week also on the program. So you are going to get your local fix like no other show can provide. We got the best insiders here than any other show in town. And we're not done yet, by the way. We're gonna add more pieces to this puzzle to make sure to create the kind of environment and the kind of insiders that Dolphin fans want to hear from. All right, let's have a little fun here. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with OmarKelly and the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
This is the Big O Show.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com. There's many ways to support our program, from subscribing and liking the show to visiting our terrific sponsors. Another way is using Cash App. If you would like to donate to the show and help us grow, download Cash App and search Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We appreciate your support as we continue to build the best sports show on the planet for South Florida sports fans. Support the Big O Show by using Cash App and donate to Cash Big O Show. Thank you for your incredibly loyal support.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group, Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you OmarKelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
Yeah, baby, we promised you the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. We even got a video open for you now, Omar.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Disclaimer, open, everything. We got it all together, bro. It's slowly but surely coming together. And we got the right screen up right from the get-go, so we're moving in the right direction. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, all right. No, I see you're fixing your hair there.
Yeah, man. This whole
pretty.
this whole on-camera thing, I'm still working it. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I think the next thing we got to do is get you a mic now, so you have no echo and we have clear. I think that's the next thing.
Yeah, the sound is not that clear.
It's good, but it can be better with a mic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A mic that will send you. So I think we're gonna get a mic, and we'll get a mic flag, and we'll make you look all professional and stuff like that. How about that? We'll do that.
All right.
I like it. All right. So how was your weekend, my man?
Good. Can't complain. Very expensive dinner for my wife's birthday. I'm curious, what has the average guy spent on a dinner out for his wife's birthday?
It's got to be over 150.
Oh,
over 150.
I was nearly double that, which
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and
And that's without a present, right? That's without a present.
oh no, I got it. No flowers. See, and this is where I think I spoiled my wife because she got flowers, she got a present. Not only that, but I bought her a car, which was for her birthday, and then she still got taken out to dinner. And this is why I feel like I'm not appreciated, Big O. And this is the ongoing discussion that we're having.
Well, she's got to appreciate you at least for a week, because that's kind of the way, when I took my wife to Paris and gave her a new ring and
Yeah,
dinner at the Eiffel Tower. And
that's at least 10 days. That's at least 10 days of appreciation.
I don't know if it got to 10 days, but yeah, it got maybe a week I had. And then after that, I was dog shit again. And so, yeah, it's just one of those things in life.
I just want to know. I just want to know what age or what event do they roll out the red carpet for us? Because the weddings are for them. Really, Mother's Day's for them. Birthdays are for them. Like, what do we get? A midlife crisis? Is that it?
Yeah. Maybe when we're like 50, 55, 60, they're like, he's close to dying. Let's celebrate him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Yeah. It's kind of like in the household, you give your kids all the great presents. You give your wife all the great presents, and then you get a fucking tie, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's the way it goes, bro. And they probably hope that you use it to hang yourself, not to wear it actually, at that point. So it's just one of those deals.
It's life, man.
All right, let's I was talking about this today. Do you feel the excitement? Because I know that's not your job, okay? But do you feel the excitement from the periphery, from the Dolphin Nation, compared to the last 20 seasons that we would just go in just kind of nervous about how bad it's going to be and who the hell this Joe Philbin guy is and can Cam Cameron coach and can John Beck even play and can it just all the other issues that we always talked about that never instilled any kind of confidence. I just get a feeling that this is the most confident Dolphin Nation has been in over 20 years.
It's funny that you say that because I kind of get the opposite sentiment. They always go in with super excitement for the Cam Camerons and the Joe Philbins and the Adam Gases and every we spent big this offseason, we're going to be great. And there's always an overinflation of excitement. I think I get more nervousness from Dolphin fans, and I don't know if that has to do with the quarterback. I don't know if that has to do with trying to build on a 10-6 season. Dolphin fans aren't used to having success and trying to build on it. We're used to 7-9, and this is going to be our year. We actually get to 10 wins. So there is more of a sense of nervousness than I would say excitement from Dolphin fans, and this is honestly a new thing for me.
Of course it is. I told you that the other day. Remember, I told you you're going to be doing something that normal writers have not done in forever. If they improve again this year, nobody's covered a Dolphin team in over a decade, in over 20 years that improved every year for 3 years in a row. That's unheard of right now.
I'm actually going to look that up.
Seriously.
Now that you say that. I've never thought about that, but yeah,
it's this. You have your, Sperano takes over, you get your 11-5, and then you never match that again. And, it's just one of those types of deals. Adam Gase has his 10-6 and you never match it again.
It's at least, I went 5 years before I joined the franchise, and I've covered the franchise for 14 years. So we're talking 20 years. You're correct.
Yeah.
There's never been 3 years of sustained development, progress, success, and they got a long way to go to get to that. Of course. Are we evaluating it based on amount of wins, even though there's a 17th game, or are we talking winning percentage here?
I think you got to go playoffs is what I think you got to get in the playoffs this year. That's how you improve, because that's the next step for these cats is now they got to the playoffs in their third year. Now they get the experience of maybe a game or two if they, play well enough. And then that's something you can build on the following season. For me, it's playoffs or bust this year. You got to actually a 17th game, Omar, helps you. It should help you get into the playoffs and here's the other thing that you have never seen this, Omar, a team that improves as the year goes on. That's happened the last 2 years. And again, they got a shot. So if you got 17 games, I expect you to be playing your best football towards the end. So I think you got to make the playoffs this year if you're the Dolphins.
I'm trying to think if they improved as the year went on last year. They were pleasant surprises early. I don't know if they really improved, but yeah, I mean, they didn't improve because that receiver unit was really watered down, piss poor. The offense sort of starts to tail and down. So, but yeah, I get what you're saying, and it's true. It's unprecedented, uncharted territory in terms of, I never thought about it till you asked me, but it's kind of more nervousness than. I don't, maybe it's just my fan base in terms of the people who follow me or interact with me, but I don't sense excitement. I sense more nervousness than excitement. And
I guess I've never been more confident in them in over 20 years now. To me, I just think Flo knows his stuff, bro. I think he has a great feel for the team. I love the way Greer builds a football team because he's building it the way football people build it from inside out. Draft picks as much as you can to get the fishnet approach, and so you can get as many picks. So then you'll hit on as many, find diamonds in the rough in free agency. All these little things that they do, trades that they've gotten the best of. I really like the way this team is being structured. Finally, the team caught up to Tom Garfinkel. Because Tom Garfinkel is an ass kicker on all the business end.
I wouldn't even put it. I wouldn't even put it in that stratosphere.
They're still not there yet, right?
No, they're not. They're not there yet. That's a tall praise to give them that they're caught up with Garfinkel. I can't do that.
Well, they're getting there. They're getting there at least. Okay, because Garfinkel is a freaking stud. What he's done with that stadium and the business end is just absolutely sick. By the way, give us the skinny on the practice facility. What do you know? What have you seen?
I've just seen what we've seen on social media. I haven't seen anything. I was, in fact, going to text Jason Jenkins about, when are we going to get the tour, or are we just going to show up first day of work and have to figure it out? And because there's supposed to be a housing for the media if we're still allowing media to enter the building. I don't even know. I can't even tell you. But the building's big enough, and what excites me about that facility is that it's a first class medical facility for sports surgeries and arthritic surgeries and all kinds of things, and rehabilitation center. And putting that in my community, because for those who know me, I'm from Carroll City, so I'm right from that Miami Gardens neighborhood. I, in fact, worked at Joe Robbie Stadium as my first job. That's huge. And being able to have a facility where now you don't have to see guys getting carted to the Nova pool so they can go do their rehab, or getting driven to the MRI facility in a cart, and it's all in the building. I mean, you brought it up, Tom Garfinkel, but it's really Steve Ross. What Steve Ross has really done, if you just put the money to it in terms of doing things first class, always first class in terms of the facility, the stadium upgrades, the sports, the soccer events, whatever. Now the race, I'm not too educated on that. I know there was a big issue about the noise that it's going to create in the South Florida community. But bottom line is, if you want events, you're going to have to tolerate a couple of days of noise if you want the financial impact that's going to come in your community. Said the same thing about Marlin Stadium when it was being built, and people like Billy Corbin screaming and stressing about how it's going to downgrade that community. And look around Marlin Stadium right now. It's really the epicenter of gentrification at this point. So not that that's always a good thing, but the revitalization of communities is important. I'm in the middle of it in where I live. So but back to Steve Ross, even when you talk about the organization, there's nothing that you would ever have asked Steve Ross that he would have said, nah, I don't think so. I don't think I want to put my money there. Or that's not something that I don't want to put those resources into the organization. You've never heard that. It's never ever been an issue.
No.
And
but it's a 1-2. But Omar, it's a 1-2 punch. While he's willing to spend, you must have vision. You must have the vision to understand what you're going to do with that money to make your life and your business work better. That's where Tom Garfinkel was a freaking monster, bro.
It's not the vision, because I think the vision was fine. It was always, in my opinion, the people in charge of creating that vision, people in charge of executing that vision, what they believed in the quarterback. And me and you were on the mountaintop, the Mount Rushmore of Ryan Tannehill critics, see where he is now. And maybe you could say that, if we would have built it right with him, it would have happened. Well, I could argue to you that the 2016 team was built the right way for him. It just, he didn't stay healthy. And I would make the argument to you that the development that you're seeing in Tennessee, you probably would have seen in Miami if he had stayed healthy for 2 seasons. You never got that. And now what people are looking at Tennessee is a 10-year veteran of a 9-year veteran of a quarterback who, who's got a team that's customly built perfectly for him. And the Dolphins had always struggled to do that.
Yeah, I'm with you there. OmarKelly, of course, joins us twice a week for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. And once the season starts here at the end of the month, things will pick up, and it's going to be a lot of fun, these 2 segments weekly, catching up with the Dolphins. And remember, we're also going to be doing our pre- and post-game shows at Sports Grill. So if we got breaking news there, we'll talk to Omar during the pre- and post-game show if there's any breaking news out there with the Dolphins. I got a question for you. Is Preston Williams' Dolphins career on the line in the next couple of months? In other words, if he doesn't show you enough coming off that knee injury, does he even make the roster? Because they are so loaded. Would they go with somebody that they feel might be more reliable? Because as much as I love the kid and I love his ability and everything that he's got brought to the table, the injuries have been something that you have to be concerned about now. So what does Preston Williams have to do to make the team? And what is he going to do to lose his opportunity on the Dolphins?
Well, it's interesting that you ask about Preston Williams. I'm probably at the list of the most interesting things or excited things I'm most excited about seeing in training camp is him. He surprised me both training camps. He's been a top 3 performer both training camps, and that includes coming off an ACL injury 8 months and last year just dominating training camp to the point I'm looking at Byron Jones like the Dolphins just wasted a shitload of money because he just absolutely destroyed him on a daily basis. Because of the cheap financial nature of where Preston Williams is, I would have to think he'd have to be the 9th or 10th receiver on the team to not make it. We're talking about he's on $800,000 this year, whereas you're talking about backups like Albert Wilson and Alan Hearns and Jakeem Grant, who are in the $3 million range. Financially, it doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, to cut Preston Williams. Now, with that said, if he's not healthy, I would immediately put him on IR or start him out on the PUP. That there's just too much talent there, and something is not connecting. Something is not connecting to the point where you're not getting out this talent. I mean, if we're talking about he's a 5-star athlete, one of the top recruits coming out of college, didn't pan out at Tennessee, had one good year and after a domestic dispute, one good year at the college that he went to, came to Miami, tore up camp. People are saying he's an instant Pro Bowler, dominant player, goes out on the field, has chemistry issues, is running the wrong routes for Ryan Fitzpatrick, and is admitted so.
He's
you
a
know,
young guy. Yeah.
Early on, finally gets it going, gets injured. Second year, dominates training camp, coming off an ACL, finally gets it going, and then and then gets injured again. So,
but he also has this issue too.
Yeah,
he's got to hang on. He's got to hang on to the ball. That's been a little bit of an issue for him.
There are a lot of people on this team that have that issue ahead of Preston Williams, and like
but Preston is a wide receiver, whereas Jakeem Grant is a returner. So I don't worry about. I don't want to use Jakeem that much as a wide receiver. I want him fully as a returner because that's what he excels in. So I don't worry as much about his drops as a wide receiver. But for Preston, it's imperative, bro, that he catches the ball on a consistent basis.
I mean, we're really splitting hairs about a fourth receiver because if you got Devontae Parker, being Devontae Parker healthy, which we know we're going to get about 10, 11 games of a healthy Devontae Parker, you've got Will Fuller, you've got Jalen Waddle. Really, Preston Williams is fighting with Lynn Bowden Jr. for that fourth receiver spot role, Albert Wilson for that fourth receiver spot role. And maybe we can not have to fast track his development, which is something that we've done the past 2 years because of the talent that we've seen on the field. We say, okay, let's fast forward and put him in the game when he's not ready to be in the game. And you know, and maybe that's hurt him. Maybe the expectations of dominating in a training camp setting where the action isn't as fast and you know, people can sit there and talk to you on the sidelines as opposed to a game. Maybe that's held him back. Let's just hope that this change to the new offense isn't going to derail him yet again. Let's hope that sitting down watching for 2 years is going to make and having a contract that's up is going to make him hungry and driven. I mean, there's no guarantee you're going to get the restricted tender next year. And your future is really at stake this year. This is a money year for you if you're Preston Williams. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops and pans out.
Omar, you mentioned something very interesting. Lynn Bowden Jr., you kind of his main competition for that fourth spot. How much does it help Lynn Bowden that he's a multiple player, that he can help you in different areas on the field and even in special teams? Whereas even I know Preston plays a little special teams, but that's not really ideally the spot you want to use him in. Kudos to him for being a stud and trying.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he injured himself as a returner.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally forgot he did that. Yeah.
So, but it's not where he excels. It's not, if you're using him on special teams, then your special teams unit is kind of weak. Whereas Lynn Bowden Jr. is a guy that can add in all kinds of areas, bro, even coming out of the backfield.
Hey, at this point, as a fourth receiver, maybe Preston Williams has got to be a gunner. There's nobody who says that a receiver can't be a gunner. We've had some dynamic gunners as a receiver. So, Preston Williams, this is no, you know, you're gonna get the XL Uber car coming to pick you up kind of treatment for training camp. This is, you know, you're in a pool ride. You get in where you fit in. I might have to let you out on the block, and you walk a couple. You walk a couple blocks to your destination. This is no luxury training camp for Preston Williams. Just like you mentioned, I believe the receivers are about 9 deep in terms of guys who belong on the 50. And let's be very appreciative of that because I don't think we've ever, not that I've covered the team for 14 years, and I can never tell you where you've been in the situation where you're that deep, that talented.
Roster management and COVID. Beautiful combination.
Last year, they were angered, bothered, perturbed by how I kept bringing up that receiver is an issue from the very first training camp. I said, receivers an issue.
I didn't think it was going to be an issue until then everything dropped out in injuries, and then it became.
Yeah, no, you can't, you know, and people are like angry at me initially. Why you keep bringing it up? Well, why did your season not turn out the way that you hoped it would turn out? Because you had
one of the reasons.
Receivers.
Yeah,
and depth-wise, you were just trash. And I learned my lesson from last season. I'm not going to cut Jakeem Grant to create salary cap space or cut Allen Hurns because I don't need him. No, we're bringing all of them to camp, and we'll figure it out as we go.
OmarKelly with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Before I let you go, who's going to be Myles Gaskin's main competition? Will it be Mike Brown in your eyes? And will it be a two-headed attack with those two guys? Do you think that those will be the two main running backs when it's all said and done?
I'm on the Ahmad train.
Nice. Okay.
Those two young guys who are very, very close, live together, work together, train together, no jealousy. That's Malcolm Brown. I need to see what they look like when pads come on. But let's not act like Malcolm Brown has ever done anything on an NFL team that
he's just been a serviceable running back his whole career.
He's serviceable.
Right.
There were points when Ahmed showed you, hey, there's a little something there. And it was, and the same thing with Gaskin. Hey, there's a little something there, to the point where nobody talks about it, nobody really discusses it, but he was one of the more productive backs, if not weapons, in the entire NFL last year in yards per game production. So you can't say, I would have loved for them to select Najee Harris and upgrade that position and add some depth, just because I'm concerned about the durability and whether or not they can endure a 17-game season. But if you got a two-headed monster of those Washington backs, they both have very similar skill sets. They both fit very well into this offense. Ahmed, you probably have to question his pass protection a little bit, but both catch passes out the backfield very well. You gotta like what you have there. They clearly do, because they didn't address it.
Right.
Till the seventh round.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that all breaks down. Make sure you follow our guy Omar on Twitter at OmarKelly. What are you working on the Sun Sentinel so Dolph fans can check you out, my man?
I'm stealing some work from Big O. Right now, I'm going to be doing some research on 3-year progressions and seeing, what the outcome of that was. When was the last time we've seen it? What you're gonna make me do some football study. I enjoy our conversations for that reason. Like I'm putting our conversation down and starting some studying, because I never thought about it.
Baby, soaring.
3 year hasn't been done yet. Big O hasn't been done yet. I gotta look up 2-year progressions.
I got confidence, bro. I got confidence in Flo. I got confidence in Greer.
I don't even know if we've seen 2-year progressions.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think you might have to go to like what you might have to go to like a Wanstead year that maybe.
I know I have to go to a Wanstead year.
You really have to go to a Wanstead year to go 2 years in a row where you improve. I doubt there was 3, but I'm sure there was probably.
I don't think there. I think you got to go back to one. No, maybe Saban.
Well, Saban, no, actually. Wasn't Saban's first year better than his second year?
Probably.
That's how it was, right? Wasn't the first year the Gus Frerotte year? And then the second year it was, I got to get the hell out of here, right? I think he only won.
It was 2 9-7s, I believe.
Okay, I thought he won one less game or something the following year.
No, 2 9-7. So yeah. No, he had a 4-12. And Saban was here for how many years? 2?
I thought it was 2. Yeah, that's what
2,
I thought.
Yeah. 2 9-7s, 2 9, which ain't bad in hindsight. Like
no. Not with Gus Frerotte, dude. It's actually not bad.
I'm not complaining. 2 9-7s ain't bad. Gus Frerotte and Harrington.
No, it'll be better this year. That's for damn sure. Omar, as always, you're a stud, my brother. Have faith, man. You'll see. You're going to be having fun this year covering the football team.
I enjoyed it.
No, of course it was. Definitely it was fun. But I'm saying you're going to have playoff fun this year, bro. That's what's going to happen this year. Postseason fun.
Yeah, man.
That's what it's all about. All right? Have faith. All right, Omar. Appreciate you as always. I'll see you on Friday. You be good.
All right. See you.
There you go. That is Omar Kelly and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your InterMiamiCF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or InterMiamiWear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where InterMiami and all Miami sports fans shop.
This is the Big O Show.
There's many ways to support our program, from subscribing and liking the show to visiting our terrific sponsors. Another way is using Cash App. If you would like to donate to the show and help us grow, download Cash App and search Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We appreciate your support as we continue to build the best sports show on the planet for South Florida sports fans. Support the Big O Show by using Cash App and donate to Cash Big O Show. Thank you for your incredibly loyal support.
This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchased with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All righty, welcome aboard. All right, we promised you Franco Panizo is going to join us hopefully here at the top of the hour. We will be joined by Franco Panizo. And by the way, I was right. I looked it up. Miami went 9-7 Saban's first year, and then they went 6-10 his second year. So I think Omar had it confused there. I thought he took a step back, and that's why he ran for the hills when it was all said and done. All right, we are ready to start hour number 2 of the program. We promised you we're going to switch gears. We went from football to football. And Franco Panizo, of course, does an excellent job. There he is. He's in his car. You got to love that. Going to join us here. We're going to talk a little football as Inter Miami gets back in action this week to take on the Red Bulls. They added some new talent, so we'll ask him about that. First of all, Franco, and by the way, follow him on Twitter at Franco Panizo. And more importantly, Miami Total Football, so you can get your Inter Miami fix, does an excellent job of covering the team on a daily basis. And I was thinking about this, Franco. I'm watching the Euros, and Beckham is, you see his face there, and I just want to put a caption above him that says "First Inter, now this." That's, I mean, the poor guy's got to go through the Inter Miami season and then watching England lose in the Euros. That could not have been fun for him.
No, not at all. But he posted something just now, a little bit ago, just saying how it's a proud moment for England and for him to see England get this far. And obviously they're a little bit sad that they didn't win the final, but getting this far for England is an achievement in itself, because they haven't been to a final since 1966. So, but yeah, I got a picture actually from someone that knows that I cover the team, and it was just like a screenshot of David Beckham's face when he was all sad after the final whistle. So. Some people are relishing or basking in that, I guess.
I didn't care about whichever one won because I don't have a horse in the race, but after watching the behavior of the English fans, dude, I'm glad Italy won because, I mean, it's pretty disgusting, the comments that have been coming out of some of the English fans and the racist comments. And I feel bad for some of those young cats that actually had to take the PKs, man. Put in that situation there. You hadn't played all game, and then you're there to take the most important kick of the game. That's tough, dude. It's tough.
No, yeah, look, I mean, in penalty kicks, people can get criticized just like any part of the game for taking a bad shot or missing. But to miss a decisive penalty kick, you have to take a decisive penalty kick. So there's also credit to them for stepping up and trying to make it happen. Someone's going to miss eventually in a penalty shootout. Someone's going to not make it. That's how the penalty shootouts always get determined. So there's always going to be a villain or someone that just doesn't convert. Again, I don't think it's on any one player. If we're not talking to Miami, we're talking England. I don't cover England, but I don't think it's on any one player. 3 players missed consecutively. Donnarumma made some good saves. So Italy won it more than England lost it. But England does have a history of being notoriously poor at penalty shootouts. So this will only add to that lore for them. But it was an interesting match. It was an interesting match.
Speaking of villains, why do you have a Jeffrey Loria Marlins hat on? Just speaking of villains.
So this is like my my just day-to-day gym hat when I don't feel like doing my hair because my hair's super long right now. So I actually my ex-girlfriend bought it for me when I was in New York, and I've just
that's
made it
why
my
she's your ex. That's why she's your ex. She got you a Jeffrey Loria hat. Come on.
This was years ago. So there was this is when
she couldn't have been creative and go get you a classic Marlins hat with the Florida Marlins
with the F. F for Franco.
I don't know if you noticed this. Yeah, that's right. The F for Franco. That actually, that's smart. I don't know if you noticed this. The other day, Tyler Hero was at a Marlins game and he had the F.
Yeah,
he had the classic hat on. I was like, oh, and let me tell you something. I like what Jeter did with the logo. I think I like their new logo actually. Yeah. I think they did a nice job. I hate the logo you have on. I can't because that looks like have you ever seen Maroon? Maroon 5, right?
Of course.
Go put on your search engine Maroon 5 logo and check out the Maroon 5 logo. It's the exact same impact.
I'll check it out.
They ended up copying Maroon 5 to do their logo. I mean, it's crazy.
When I was in New York and I got this hat, this was the logo that was present. It was current time. So this was like a piece of home for me while I was in New York. So I have special value towards it, regardless of the colors and the logo.
I love it. Miami Total Football is a podcast. Make sure you follow it, man. Very, very important. Always great insight on the team. All right, my brother. So the team made a move and they added Indiana Jones. No, I mean Vasilem. And tell me, what do you know about this kid? Because, everything I read, whatever, played in Europe, all that, but I didn't see any stats. I didn't see any goals. And last time I checked, this team needs people that can actually score. So is this kid going to add something? What can you tell us about him?
I think he's a depth piece. I think he's someone that they can count on in moments. I don't think he's going to come in and take the league by storm or improve this team by and large. I think he's another option, another weapon to have off the bench, which at this point Inter Miami can use all the help it can get, but he's not going to be a game changer. He's a young player who's been bouncing around different parts and different tiers of England. He's played in 3rd and 4th division on loan within the past year. His parent club, or the club that owns his contract, is Aston Villa, but they're loaning him, or they have loaned him to Inter Miami for the rest of the MLS season. Young player looking for minutes, looking for regular playing time. I imagine he'll get some time here. He'll get some opportunities. Depends what he does with them, what happens with him going forward. But I think he'll help, but I don't think he's going to be, a world beater. Yeah, no, he's not. He's not the answer.
Where's Robbie in his recovery? Because that's the one that I think that's the guy you really need to kind of open it up a little bit more for Higuain too. And really, he's the only guy that can break people down and attack the goals. So where is Robbie? Because unfortunately, it's been mishandled, his injury, the first 2 go-arounds. I like that they're taking their time now, but how much more time does he need?
So they said that he would be, last time we spoke to Phil Neville, he said that Robbie Robinson would be available for the next game, which is this upcoming weekend against the New York Red Bulls. So Robbie Robinson should be available either from the start or at least in the matchday roster based on what Phil Neville said. We had seen Robbie Robinson the last week or two at the training sessions when we're able to go once a week and get 15, 20, 30 minutes of practice in, and he was there with the team doing the warm-up drills and whatnot. So looks like he's back to full health, but of course they're trying to be extremely cautious given that, like you said, it seems like they mishandled his injury the first couple of times, because he injured it in week 2, then he injures it again, and it hasn't been a great start to the year for Robbie Robinson and how Inter Miami handled his injury, of course.
I feel terrible for the kid because obviously he's so young, and that kind of messes with you a little bit. You know what I mean? And hell, the kid was crying coming off the pitch the last time because he obviously the frustrations of last year and then this year, all of that has kind of built up for him because obviously there's he's got to have a lot of internal pressure because he was the number 1 overall pick. Daryl DK has been an absolute monster, and he hasn't, and some of it hasn't been his fault, but the other part is I'm sure he wants to come through. So the Indiana move, is this a sign of things to come for the second half of the season? Are we going to see more experiments? Are we going to see them try to acquire or call up some young players from their minor league team? Because as you know, Franco, and you know better than I do, they don't have a lot of flexibility. They don't have a lot of money available to go out and buy somebody. Yep. So they're going to have to get creative and find a nugget somewhere, some diamond in the rough. Is that what we're starting to see with Indiana?
I don't. So when we spoke to Phil Neville in person, this was 2 weeks, maybe 3, going back on 3 now. This is our first in-person availability since the pandemic, in terms of the MLS season. And he said he didn't expect to bring any more players in. That's what he said 2-3 weeks ago. He said, we got Kieran Gibbs, we've got Nick Marsman coming, and, I don't expect us to do any more business. Those are his words. Then they go and get Indiana Vasiliev. So that kind of goes against what he said. I've also heard that there's another player that they have in camp, defender, who they're taking a look at. He's been with the team for the past week and change. I will reserve the name because I haven't gotten officially confirmed, but I do have a name, but I just want to get it officially confirmed before I put it out there. So
you can park your ass somewhere in the warehouses, fly a drone over, and just watch them practice.
That's illegal. You cannot fly a drone next to the airport. You get in trouble. You need special permission.
I said you got to hide somewhere in the warehouses. So you got to stash yourself, and then bring it over the practice pitch. Check out who the player is. Take a pic, a video. Boom.
I've got to send a third party because if they catch me, then they'll
there you go.
I'm breaking the rules. And then, but if somebody else does it, then it's not on me.
And if it's a high-powered drone, you do it from the other side of 95, and then they'll never find you, bro. And that's
listen. Hey, I have my my sources everywhere, so I might already have eyeballs in there, so I'm just waiting to confirm. But I don't expect them to make many more moves. But of course that can change. But based on what Phil Neville said, and like we know, they're pretty much hamstrung or tied right there in terms of what they can do financially. They've been players, and you have to not only think about this season going forward. They're not going to have a lot of allocation money or less allocation money. So if you bring someone in now, you're probably not going to be able to keep all the players again anyway next year. So I wouldn't expect a whole lot. Like you said, maybe they could tap into their Fort Lauderdale team. George Acosta's been doing really well there. I think he's on pace to break that league's record for assists. So maybe someone that they call up, but by and large,
Lord knows they need help in the midfield in a big way, dude. Holy crap. They don't have anybody.
I think he's a longer term project though. I think I think they'll let him finish out the season. I think by and large, for better or for worse, this group plus Kieran Gibbs and Nick Marsman, plus Indiana and maybe this other player that's in camp. I think that's for better or for worse, the group that's going to finish out the season.
The crazy part is the Fort Lauderdale CF team is actually more entertaining to watch, and they're better to watch than the big team. I mean, it is crazy. All right, one more thing before I let you go. Franco Panizo, Miami Total Football. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Franco Panizo. Walk me through the Higuain relationship with the coaches, the team, because whether we've seen him frustrated on the field. I've seen him play completely out of position and play up towards the middle of the field because he's dying. He's trying to help however he can. We've seen him become more of a midfielder than a forward at times because he's done a marvelous job of setting people up. But then we find out about the conditioning and then the comments of, I thought I was going to be able to smoke a cigarette and dominate this league and all that, which, by the way, I'm not surprised because there's been a ton of international players that have come to the MLS thinking, esto es jamón, or this is nice and easy, as they say in Spanish, and they find out, oh, wow, this is a hard nut to crack, bro. This is a different league and all that. So where is the dynamic from what you've seen with Higuain and the team and the coaching staff and everything else?
I mean, it's still early, so it's hard to really tell, especially when we've just now gotten back to talking to him in person once a week, and it's only been once because the following week there was Gold Cup preliminary, so we weren't able to talk in person. So it's hard to really judge and assess all those dynamics from afar. But based on what we can see, or based on what I can see, I don't know if Gonzalo Higuain and Phil Neville have the best relationship. I don't see a player that goes and is playing necessarily for his coach or all those cliches, because like you said, even when he was playing just the 9, he would drop back and receive the ball from the midfield. He would drop back to pick it up because he wasn't getting enough touches, which is understandable. We've seen plenty of players do that in MLS. But one of the things Phil Neville said at the start of the season was, we want Gonzalo Higuain in and around the box as often as possible because that's where he's most dangerous. So clearly there's definitely they're not on the same page there. And obviously now with the fitness issues, which obviously Phil Neville has, spoken honestly about in public. But at the same time, obviously, that if that's an issue he's having, if Higuain's having, then, again, is he on the same page as Phil Neville? Like this fitness issue didn't just pop up out of nowhere. He didn't just go into a 3-week break and all of a sudden become not fit. This is something that has been an issue probably since the start of the season. And it's just, it was just emphasized or a magnifying glass was put on it during that 3-week break when Phil Neville and his coaching staff did a thorough analysis of what was going on and what was going wrong. But look, at the end of the day, they're going to need Gonzalo Higuain on the field if they're going to have any shot of making the playoffs, because we've seen this team improve, the functioning of the team, el funcionamiento, as they say in Spanish, improved in terms of their ability to fight and keep games tight. But they're still not scoring goals, and they're still not winning games. So you got to get him back in there. Obviously, that's going to take away from some of the energy and the defensive bite that they have. But you need his quality on the field because, like we saw against why am I blanking on who they played? But their lone goal in this 5-game losing streak came off of his moment of magic from outside the penalty area where he shoots from distance.
It was and by the way, that was a kick where he was like determined to take.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
He was driven like, hell no, I'm not passing this. I'm going to take the shot. And it was a beautiful shot. It was terrific.
It's a great shot.
It was a great shot. And it's almost like, because you kind of feel the frustrations are building with him, whether he's playing in the middle of the field, trying to help create more, or maybe he needs to become a little bit more selfish around the box and screw setting other people up because they're not better than you are at shooting at the damn goal. So you might as well take the shot, whether you miss or whatever, but the team can actually live better with those results than you passing it to somebody else who's a lesser scorer.
Yeah, no, I agree. Again, I think like in that game against Orlando City, that shows the quality he has where he can put the team on his back in a game where maybe they're not playing that well, or at least not in the final third, because that's more of Inter Miami's problem. I know people pointed at the defense, say they're giving up goals, but look, if you can't keep the ball and you can't score, and your defense is facing attack after attack after attack, your defense, like we saw yesterday with England, is bound to give up a goal. Maybe one game they can survive if they're really, really good on the day and really, really tight. Maybe some luck goes away.
And they also have a mediocre to average goaltender too.
Well, Nick Marsman's coming in.
McCarthy, God bless him, he's trying, but he's not the answer, bro. He's not a starter. He's just.
No, I mean, I think they knew that coming into the year. That's why they were looking. There was all types of goalkeepers linked with the team during the offseason, even when the season started. And now they obviously went and got Nick Marsman, who is now in Miami. He arrived, I think, on Friday or Saturday. He posted a picture at the training facility. I saw Kieran Gibbs is also in Miami, but I haven't seen him with the team or in the facility yet. At least nothing he's posted publicly. So they're around. They'll help the team. They will bring some more quality to the team, but this team needs to score goals. And someone asked me this, and maybe I'll end on this note.
Go ahead.
What's a worst 5-game losing streak for Inter Miami? This one or the one that they began with the season with last year? I would say.
Well, no, last year you had the excuse.
This
one for sure, because last year you're an expansion team, and then it's a pandemic and all that stuff. Yep. You had every excuse,
and they only had one DP on the roster. They have all three now.
Right.
And there's different reasons you can say, one's not fit, the other one was injured, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But this team should be better than it is right now. I think that's the result of players not performing and having issues. And I also think that's a part of it is on Phil Neville. And we could talk about that at another time, because I don't know how much time
we will.
But
you know what? Normally I wasn't picking on him, but the last couple of weeks his substitutions have been incredibly questionable, dude. I mean, bringing Francisco in with like 90 seconds left or whatever it was the other day was just ridiculous. I mean, if you're going to bring Higuain in, you should bring him in a lot earlier than towards the end. And then a couple games back, he brought him in like in the 70th minute when he should have brought him in at halftime when they hadn't done jack in the first half. And he brings in him and Jovan Jones like in the 75th minute or whatever it was. And it was like, come on, dude, you got no offense, put him in there. And to me, his substitutions have been kind of questionable lately, I have to admit.
Yeah, I have less problems with the substitutions. I have more problems with some of the game plans that I've seen. As well,
the 3-man back that went to 4 right away after they scored.
That game against DC United was awful game plan from start. Sometimes you see a game plan and you're like, "There's a great game plan from the head coach." Wow, the game plan was flawless, was great. That game plan was bad. This last one against Montreal, the game plan wasn't terrible, but the execution, for whatever reason, just wasn't there. And again, we can go in depth at another time, but if you look at the game,
not good enough, dude. Maybe they're just not good enough.
No, look, there's not being not good enough, and we saw that in the first 2 games from the last break. They came out and were tougher to play against defensively. They didn't have a whole lot of quality in the final third, but they were tough to play against defensively. And then against Montreal at Red Bull Arena in New Jersey, they were giving up chances left and right in that first half. And that when I went back and rewatched the game the second time, I was like, wait a minute, why did this happen? And if you look at that game, and I wrote this on SBI Soccer, you can see it on my Twitter handle, on the Miami Total Football Instagram page, the lines, and when you talk about the lines, you're talking about the defensive line, the first midfield line, the second midfield line, and then the forward line, they were spread out. The front 6 were in advanced positions, like a higher block. They weren't pressing, but they were just higher up the field. And then the back line stayed back in a deeper posture, and then there was just like this big space
in the middle. A gap in the middle. Yeah.
But that's something that you work on in training during the week, how your team moves together, how you keep lines tight. And for lines not to be tight, if it was one player, okay, look, that player just didn't follow the game plan or wasn't on the same page. But if it's completely different lines, you have part of your team here and part of your team here, that's completely on the coaching staff. And I don't know, at that point, I don't know if the message wasn't clear, or if players just aren't receiving Phil Neville's message. But that to me that's a pretty alarming that at 11 games into the season you have that much of a difference, or that parts of your team that are not on the same page at all. And this is the last thing I'll say, is because it's something that I think these are people, these are players, but they are people. They know that Phil Neville is David Beckham's guy. How many of those guys, especially the Argentine guys, are like, this guy knows what he's doing, or how many people are actually buying into him because they know that he's David Beckham's guy, right? So, do they actually think he's a good coach? Do they think, oh, this guy just got the job because he's David Beckham's friend or whatnot? Do they actually believe in what he's selling? That's a question, because this team is, no matter by any mark, you can bring all the excuses you want, this team is underperforming. It should not be in 13th place in the Eastern Conference. Maybe it shouldn't be at the top of the Eastern Conference, but it should not be in 13th place on the Eastern Conference, losing 5 games in a row and having problems scoring in 4 of those 5.
He's a stud covering this team on a daily basis. Make sure you follow Franco on Twitter, like I and many others do, at Franco Panizo. And more importantly, go to the podcast, subscribe right away, Miami Total Football, and like it also too. All right. Help him out there too for the algorithm. Franco, as always, you're a stud, my brother. We'll catch up again, my man. Let's see if they can pull a victory out this weekend, man.
Let's see, brother. Winning cures a lot of things. So if they can get a W, it'll help. And maybe I'll get a new hat, a new Marlins hat for the next one.
Yes. Yes, let's get the evil one out. And look up the Maroon 5 logo so you can trip out.
I will.
All right,
All right,
brother.
brother.
You're
Thanks
good.
for having me
You
on.
got it.
All right.
Later. There you go. The great Franco Panizo. We love Franco, man. Good stuff as always. Franco is always kind enough to join us on the program and bringing it strong. Thank you all out there as always for tuning in. Plenty of stuff to talk about. And it is ugly, man. It's ugly. I'm telling you. Pipe Man Slim says, crypto, Big O. I like Omar's views. Give a different perspective. Well, that's the idea. We're not all going to agree. You know what I mean? So that's the beauty. Not correct, though. Saban's second season was 6-10. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the second season was not good. I'm back. Miami, them dudes work fast. That's what King Short says. Trey says, if this wide receiving core brings it this season, I would consider Parker on the block and season. I don't know if you can even trade Parker with his injury history, to be honest with you. I think this is Parker's last year on the team. This is the third year of that deal. I think the rest of the receivers, if they make their move, I think they will add other guys and then they will part ways with Parker. Parker's going to need an incredibly healthy season this year to kind of really maybe to even earn the job back next year. Okay. And that's hard for him because his body just doesn't hold up. Last night, the Bucks ended up getting it done over the Suns. And let me tell you something. That was what we call desperation mode last night in the NBA Finals. The Suns are in the driver's seat right now, 2-0. They took advantage of everything they had to do in Phoenix. Now they travel to Milwaukee, and Milwaukee knows that if they don't win this game, the series is over. You can't allow the Suns to go 3-0. And so the Suns did not play with the same kind of desperation that Milwaukee played with because they don't require it. You know what I mean? And now we'll wait a couple days and we'll see what happens in game 4. If the Suns can win this game, then it's over. There's no way the Bucks beat them 3 straight. But to the Bucks' credit last night, they brought it, man. They brought it. And Giannis, once again, phenomenal, dude. 41 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, and the guy hit from the free throw line. He was at home. The crowd was silent. You could hear a pin drop in the entire arena, and the dude went 13 of 17. He didn't have the animosity that he feels in the Phoenix arena when they're counting it down, which is one of the great things going on right now in the NBA Finals, because I trip out with that countdown, and clearly it was getting in Giannis's head. And yesterday he was magical at the line for him. 13 of 17 is monstrous. Drew Holiday came in big with 21 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, all of those things. It all fell into place. You know, the amazing part about the Suns leading 3-1 in this series, and it shows you how deep they are and how good they are. You know, Devin Booker hasn't played well in 2 of the 3 games. Last night, Devin Booker, 10 points on 3 of 14 shooting, 1 of 7 from three-point line. He ended up, and also 6 rebounds. Game 2, he was terrific. 12 of 25, 7 of 12 from three-point range, 31 points. Now, in game 1, he had 27 points, but he had it on 21 shots, and he was 8 of 21 and 1 of 8 from three-point range. For Devin Booker, that's not a good game. It's Devin Booker. It's held by a different standard. That's the scary part about the Suns. Their most prolific scorer has not been on in 2 of the 3 games, and they're leading 2-1. And for me, if I am Devin Booker, I am somehow, and if I'm CP3, I'm in his head for the next couple of days, and I'm feeding him confidence, and I'm telling him, hey, we need you to dominate. We need you to come out right from the get-go and light these mofos up. I know you are that guy. You know you're that guy. So we need that guy to show up, and that's the scary part. That if that guy comes out firing, it's over. It's over. Because he can be way more consistent than Chris Middleton can be. Okay? And Chris Middleton, obviously, this has been a nice stage for him. Devin Booker has superstar ability.
And early in that game, there was a little bit of a – remember when they stole the ball from him early in that first quarter, and then the bench was yapping, and it got Booker's attention. And if you notice, Booker then looked back at that bench and was like, oh, okay, all right. But he never responded to it. 10 points, 6 rebounds. That's not responding to it. 1 of 7 from three-point range. That's not responding to it. And so that, to me, is the key to Game 4 now. If the Suns want to win this series, you got to win this game. Because if you go 2-2 now, and yeah, you've got 2 of the next 3 in Phoenix, but the problem is anything can happen now. Now you're down to a 3-game stretch, and the way they're playing with Giannis now, and Giannis has kind of been, he's figured this thing out, right? He's, okay, I got to attack. I got to set my teammates up with picks. We got to play the game the right way, and I got to play my game. And that's what he's been doing the last couple of games, playing his game. It's time for Devin Booker to play his. It's time for Devin Booker to go out there and light it up like we all know he can. If they're going to win the series, you need to send that message to Milwaukee in Game 4 that it ends here. We're the ones that are going to win this title. CP3, I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to show up. None whatsoever. And some of the other young cats, Cameron had a beautiful dunk yesterday, I got to say. But listen, some of these young cats, they've done a really nice job of growing in these finals, in these playoffs, in this season. But it's up to Booker, man. Booker is the ultimate difference maker. And when that guy's going, Ayton, is going to play ball. The other young cats are going to play ball. CP3 is going to bring it. To me, Devin Booker's the guy that's got to kind of elevate what he's done so far in the first 2 out of the 3 games. And if he does that, then I think you will see the Suns end up winning this thing. But if they lose Game 4 and it's 2-2, you all of a sudden have given Milwaukee all the life they need. And now they will go back to Phoenix with confidence. And that's what you don't want. Your Phoenix, you've got to steal 1 of 2 in Milwaukee. You want to make sure they doubt themselves going back to Phoenix. Doubt themselves that they can't win 3 in a row. But if you're both 2-2 and it's down to a 3-game set, it's anybody's game now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in Game 4 and what direction we're going in now when it comes to the NBA Finals. Don't forget, you can reach out to us on the YouTube chat board. If you got any questions, any comments, send them in, baby. Always appreciate all of you out there for reaching out to us. Email Big O Radio Show. That's Big O Radio Show. If you want to reach out to us, of course. You can also reach out to us on Cash App. And Manuel, thank you, Manuel Malo. Appreciate you, sir. He's just sent in a Cash App, and it's Cash Big O Show. It's Cash Big O Show. Yes, we have the super chat, but the super chat, they take 30%. On the Cash App, the show gets all 100. So it's better to get 100% than 70%. So if you want to make a donation to the show, Cash App is definitely the way to go. And it's Cash Big O Show is the address. So we thank Manuel Malo sending in a Cash App. Appreciate you, sir. Very, very kind. Let's see. Chris Ike says, good morning, Big O from Arizona. I'm on my 20-minute break listening to you. Big O, love listening to you. Helps to fight with the desert heat. Hang in there, Chris, man. You guys are going through a bitch over there in the West Coast, man. The sun has been beating down on you guys. You got the drought going on. The Colorado River and Lake Mead have gone down well over almost 200 feet. It's on pace. I mean, hell, the Hoover Dam is producing 25% less electricity because there's less water. It's a rough go right now. Out there out west. So yeah, I feel for you, my man. You hang in there, Chris. Stay hydrated, stay inside as much as possible, man. Take advantage of that AC, man. All right. So, but thank you, Chris, for listening to us during your break. That's incredible dedication, man. Thank you very much. And don't forget, while you're watching on YouTube or podcasting, if you're listening to us later on in the evening, in the afternoons, all that, hit that like button, man. It is so important. And subscribe and share the link. These things are so important. And by the way, again, another record on Friday as we've restarted this thing. The downloads are going up and up and up. And again, this weekend was a great weekend for downloads. So thank you to all out there for contributing so much on the show. We really, really appreciate it out there, man. Thank you. What else do we have here? I don't care who wins, but I'd like to see the series go 7. You know what, Troy? So would I. I mean, I picked the Suns in 6, so that means they're going to have to win the next 2 games and get it done. Well, no, actually, they don't have to win the next 2. They can win 2 out of the next 3, in other words, and get it done. But it's interesting how things have worked out here for this series, and we'll see if listen. The good thing is Milwaukee's making it interesting, because I know if Lisa's watching or listening or downloading or whatever, she's probably, because she's our resident Suns fan here on the show. Obviously, she wants to see a sweep, right? I mean, that's any fan would want to see a sweep. You don't want to see your team lose anything because it puts it at risk. But I think those of us that are basketball fans, we want to see a little bit more of a series, man. We don't get any football till the end of the month, right? So we got to buy ourselves a little more time, and let's stretch this thing out before we get to the point of free agency and all the other things that are going to go on in basketball. And that'll be interesting to see how the Heat handle this offseason and what they could do to try to bounce back, man. It would be really, really, really nice if they're able to do that. It would be really, really good. What else do we have going on here? You know what? Let me do this. Let me take a quick break here. 1 minute break. Let me get some water here and rest the voice and recharge here to start continuing the show here in hour number 2.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
This is the Big O Show.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, welcome back as we continue the program. Appreciate all of you out there for reaching out. Nico on the text line says, every time I see Booker play, I remember the Heat passing on him to take Winslow. That one hurts. Can't win them all. No, you're right. You're right. And even if early on, I thought Winslow was the right pick. I was dead wrong with Winslow. I loved the pick in those days. Even early on, I thought he was the better all-around player. His problem was offense, and were hoping that he would not become a scorer, because that didn't look like it was in his DNA, but if he could at least manufacture offense, attacking the rim, free throws, mid-range jumper, something like that. You never thought he was going to become a three-point shooter or anything like that. But all the other stuff, handling the ball, defense, the attitude, man, that one playoff game where he just we were like, wow, if that could be the guy, all the time, that would have been awesome.
but it just never materialized. And Booker grew and grew and grew like Dinky Doggy, and that's it, and it's over. Anybody get that reference? All right. Anyway, so a lot of things out there to talk about. Congratulations to Anthony Chickillo. He announced his retirement, and Chickillo's one of those guys that as fans, it's kind of a sore spot, not because of Anthony. Anthony was a terrific player for the University of Miami, but it was more about Al Golden, right? And you just wonder how much more different could Anthony Chickillo's career would have been if Al Golden would have made him a defensive tackle and kept him, on the outside like a linebacker / defensive end, which is what he should have been. And he ends up dropping to, what was it, the 6th round? I think it was, yes, 6th round. And the Steelers ended up picking him. And so Chickillo became a free agent in March, but no team signed him. And so he's quoted as saying, "My whole life, my dream was to go to the University of Miami and play in the NFL. I am so grateful for the opportunity and thankful for every one of the teams that gave me a shot. The game of football is a part of my family and will always be forever. Thank you for the support, everyone." And he ends up his career with 97 tackles, 7.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. He 3 fumble recoveries in 65 games in 5 seasons in Pittsburgh. He had 11 tackles and a sack for the Broncos last year. Good dude, by the way, really good dude. Obviously a legacy player at the University of Miami because his dad also played at the University of Miami, but just a guy that I always wonder, well, what if he would have played his natural position? He probably would have gone to he might have gone to a different team, but because he would have been chosen earlier than the 6th round. And you wonder if he's able to do that, would he have had a different career too, with a different body type already going in to the league and having a different skill set in a way that he was showing off instead of what he was doing at defensive tackle, which again, it's kind of a little bittersweet. I felt bad for the young man, but I will say this, he's got nothing to be ashamed about. The dude had a really nice career overall. I just wish his career would have been handled better at the University of Miami because I think he might have been an even better player at the University of Miami with the right coach. And clearly Al Golden was not the right coach, man. No freaking way was he the right coach. The Falcons have terminated the contract of Barkevious Mingo. And this is a disturbing story. Mingo is charged with indecency with a child. Apparently, he took 2 kids that are part of the family to a amusement park, and then they stayed overnight at a hotel. And the 2 kids were supposed to be in a separate room from Mingo, but they weren't. And then in the middle of the night, one of the kids felt Mingo in his bed and pulling down, reportedly, his underwears and all that. And so, and then Mingo did some things that he, just disgusting stuff. And so now he is denying it. He's saying that they're going after money. That's what the lawyer says, and that this is a money grab and those kind of things. The Falcons ended up releasing him, and they said after being made aware of today's allegations involving Barkevious Mingo and gathering information on the matter, the Falcons have terminated his contract, the team said in a statement on Saturday night. And then Lucas Garcia, who is Mingo's attorney, calls the allegations completely baseless in a statement to multiple outlets. He says, at this stage, our side has very limited information. What we do know is these allegations are far from over 2 years ago and are completely untrue. Mr. Mingo is the victim of a false claim, and we believe this is motivated by money and some other ulterior motive. Now, again, I don't know how you prove this because it's he said. I don't know if the other kid that was in the room noticed it also. I'm not exactly sure because we don't have all the information, but I love how the agent, they're overreacting in Atlanta and this and that. The Falcons have no choice. The Falcons actually did the right thing. You can't take the chance. This isn't a parking ticket. This isn't that you were speeding at 100 miles an hour in a 55-mile-an-hour zone, and while it's still stupid and you could get arrested for something like that, that's something that maybe they can hang in there for you. But if you're abusing kids or women or animals or something like that, and it might be true, you don't want to be associated with that. Now, look at the difference between the Deshaun Watson situation. Deshaun Watson, allegedly, right, has assaulted several women. Whether he did or didn't, we don't know because we weren't there. And obviously, all these women have come forward. So maybe there's some truth to it, and maybe there's not. But it's Deshaun Watson. It's a franchise quarterback. They don't grow on trees. So as embarrassing as this is, they're going to hang on to him in Houston because it's still a commodity. Barkevious Mingo is not a commodity. He's a role player, if anything, on your team. So if you're the Falcons, are you going to put your reputation on the line for a role player? No. A guy you signed in free agency, a guy you have no connections to in the end? No, you're not. And so I love how the lawyer, it's like, oh, well, they're overreacting. They're doing the right thing. They have no choice but to act this way. And I got to tell you something. I hope it's not true. Not because I know Barkevious Mingo, not because I care about Barkevious Mingo, but I don't want to see any child be abused. That's disgusting. And if Mingo did do it, I don't care about him getting cut. I care more about putting his ass in jail for a long time. That's what I care more about. Because if he did that, then that disgusting piece of crap doesn't deserve to be out in society. If he did it. Because if you did it, then you are a disgusting piece of crap. Now, again, I don't know how this whole thing ends. But I do know this. The Atlanta Falcons handled it the only way you can possibly handle it. You have to release him. You have no choice. You certainly don't want to carry that burden. You want to separate yourself from that as much as possible, and that's exactly what they've done in this whole process. How about this? Did you guys see a former FAU cornerback? This man's name is Cortez Ashe. If you're a monster FAU fan, maybe you remember Cortez Ashe playing for FAU. So listen to this. Police say they found 132.2 pounds of marijuana, several guns, including an AK-47, and more than $25,000 in cash while serving on warrant on him. Cortez was charged with trafficking marijuana in excess of 25 pounds, possession of drug equipment, possession of a weapon by a convicted felon, and resisting an officer without violence. According to the officials, Ashe's girlfriend, Joshua Deshaun Pierre, was also involved in trafficking marijuana and faces many charges. Now, he's no stranger to breaking the law, as Ashe was arrested in 2011 after allegedly stealing 400 pounds of copper. Listen to this. He stole 400 pounds of copper wire from a scrapyard before trying to sell it back to the same scrapyard. I read that story, and I mean, so you're stupid enough to steal 400 pounds of copper wire, then go back to the same people you stole it from and offer to sell it to them. Just think about that, that crime boss right there. Think about that mastermind in crime. Cortez Ashe. They won't notice that this is their copper wire. I mean, they're missing 400, and all of a sudden I show up with 400. It's just a coinkydink. They'll never know. Oh, man. I saw that story, and I just laughed my ass off. The weed part and the guns and all that, okay, that's wicked, whatever. But that copper wire story, I can't get enough of. I mean, not you're already stupid for being a criminal, but then on top of it, you're a stupid criminal. That's just, I mean, that's a double whammy right there. And it doesn't, and it doesn't seem like the bitch that was caught with them is very smart too. At the same time, wow, that is just classic right there. And you're getting busted for marijuana. Why don't you try to go find a job in a grow house somewhere? You know, like legit places where they grow them. And you can get a real job there and all that. If that's what you want to be associated with a little weed, then go ahead, man. What if, folks, there's lots of jobs out there. You know, there's a lot of people out there that need that are offering work, and there's a lot of people out there that they're not even working. So there's a lot of opportunities out there for you. You know, if you're Mr. Ash, man, there's what's wrong with living legitimate? I'm sorry, what's wrong with getting a real job and finding some kind of a skill that you're good at? Clearly, crime, he's not good at. Right? I mean, you don't know how to steal copper wire or sell it. And now, you know, you get caught with a ton of weed and an AK-47 and a stupid girlfriend that also is involved with you. I mean, Mr. Ash, find something you can actually do that you're actually good at, because you suck as a criminal. Okay? You are as stupid as it gets as a criminal. And it's a double whammy again. It's kind of like an oxymoron. You're stupid because you're a criminal, and then you're a stupid criminal on top of all of that. That's a double whammy right there, man. Matthew Walker on YouTube says, in North Carolina in 2019, a dude was stealing from a bank he worked at. Then he spent the money on booze and cars, then bragged about it on Facebook. Exactly. That's, you know, you got to love those really smart thieves. Oh, after the end of the big three, what grade would you give Riley? I'd give him a C. He blew it for not taking Booker and signed multiple mistakes like Whiteside, Tyler Johnson, and Dion Waiters. You know, Troy, look, I ride and die with Riley. Okay, I definitely ride and die with Riley, but we do have to admit that Riley has not done well since the big three. Okay, I know they got flukish and they got the run into the finals last year in the bubble and all of that, but a lot of the moves, yeah, you're right. Draft picks, moves, trades, things like that. It has not been good. Right. It hasn't been Riley-esque. It's not making the move for Alonzo Mourning. It's not trading for Shaq. It's not acquiring LeBron and Bosh. It's, you know, I get all of that. It's not the drafting of Wade. We could go on and talk about all the great things that he's done. And that's what's missing. Riley hasn't been great lately. Yeah. And not only that, I can also add that they have done poorly and have buried themselves even more down the line because they have no first round picks for the next 400 to 600 years, I think it is. I think my kid's kid is going to have a Heat team that actually has a first rounder. And that's like in, you know, 2270 or something. It's going to be a long time from now. So they are cash strapped. Now, although they can free up a bunch of cash right now, that's the good thing about this team here, but there are no studs out there. That's the problem. And they have nothing to trade. Most of their pieces, nobody wants. Most of their pieces are not attractive. They have no draft picks. So the cap space doesn't help you because you can't acquire a stud anyways. You don't have the capital to acquire a stud that's signed. And there are no studs coming out in free agency like they had with Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler was kind of the perfect storm because he was a guy that wanted to get paid, but also wanted a team to be his. And there weren't a lot of teams that they were ready to hand the franchise over to Jimmy Butler. Miami took the chance and it paid off. But again, like I said when they acquired him, if you don't acquire another star in the first 2 years of this deal, it's not going to be a good deal from here on out. And I stand by that. And it looks like they're not going to be able to acquire another star this year. So if you're going to go through Jimmy with another Jimmy Butler season and you're going to put all that wear and tear on his body, that's why I say you can't re-sign Jimmy. You have to play out that contract and move on if you're smart. Learn to be more liquid from here on out. That's where they failed with Whiteside and James Johnson and Tyler Johnson and all those terrible contracts. They were supposed to get 1-year deals instead with players and stay liquid for the following year. Instead, they committed to 4 guys that they had no business committing to. So yeah, listen, I'm riding and dying with Riley. I love Riley, but I'll admit he hasn't been great lately. But I will give him every opportunity, and I will support him in every way possible to, get redemption and find a way to, get this franchise back over the top again and put them in a position where they can be, championship contenders. Because this year it was FUD, man. Anybody that was believing what happened last year was real. Come on, man. What was real was happened this year. This is who they are. Last year, that was all flukish. That was all the bubble. Scary part is they could have won something. They actually could have won something. That part I can't argue. They actually could have. As crazy as that season was last year, they had a legitimate shot at winning the title if they stayed healthy. Oh, just realized both the Heat and Panthers' first-round opponents made it to the finals. Just our freaking luck. Yeah. You're right about that. Yep. And well, one of them won the title, not just made it to the finals. Now, if the Bucks win it, then both would have won. The teams they lost to, both would have won the title. Where Miami screwed up in this year was that they had to be a little higher in the playoffs, and maybe that would have given them a chance to survive a round, if anything. But again, it's just not this hasn't been the best run lately. This is actually the worst run of Riley's career right now, the last few years. When it comes to his front office and all of that, I have to say that this has been probably his worst run as the head coach and front office guru of the Miami Heat. Let me see. What else do we have here on the show that I want to... classy move by the Chiefs. Years ago, the Miami Heat did the same thing for one of the beat writers, and they named the press room after him and everything, and he passed away from cancer, I believe. And Therese Paylor, which we talked about on our show, and Therese, a guy that covered the Chiefs in the NFL for several years, but he died at an incredibly young age. I believe he was 37 years old. He still had a whole life to live in front of him, and he was a damn good writer overall and a good reporter. But kudos to Pat Mahomes, the Chiefs, for honoring him. And the article that they wrote in today, our guy Josh Tolentino, who now is in Philadelphia, who was it also that was part of it? Charles Robinson also did a nice job. Steve Weish also did a nice job, and Cameron Wolf all wrote pieces on honoring Therese Paylor. And I just want to say, I know this is not some kind of a subject that's going to be, running deep with a lot of you out there, because most of you didn't know Therese Paylor, but I got to know him for several years, and really good dude. Got to know him at the Combine. And since then, we've developed a relationship and got him on the show a whole bunch of times. And he was always kind enough to give us time. He was just a class act. And when we lost him a few months back, it was just, disturbing to lose somebody so young. It's kind of like when we watch what's going on, over at the beach, and that building crumbles, and all the people that we lost, and the young people that we lost and had all their lives ahead of them. It's devastating to see that. But I just wanted to congratulate the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes, who did a great job, who was part of the whole thing and wanting to honor Therese Paylor, because he developed a relationship with him. So it's cool to see a superstar athlete also recognize some of the people that do cover him. And Terez Paylor, man, bless you, my brother. You will not be forgotten. That's for damn sure. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? Remember, you can reach out to us on the YouTube chat board here. Email always. You can always email us that wherever you're at, whenever you're listening, whatever time of the day or night that you're listening to the podcast, Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. That's Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. Cash App, Cash Big O Show. Twitter, Big O Show. Many ways to connect and support us. And more importantly, hit that like button. It is so important that you guys smash the hell out of that like button. John Rouse says that chapter just started. I think there's more to be written about Oladipo. Man, I got to tell you, John, I have no faith in Oladipo. I'm sorry. I'm not denying the player and the talent. I know he's got talent. I know he can play the game, but he can't stay healthy, man. And that's a problem. And and watching him this year, I didn't think he was a guy that played with confidence in his body. And that's not good. You know what I mean? So the Oladipo move, you might be right, John. There might be more written about it, but it's going to be bad. They may and the Heat may have to add him. You know why, John? Because they have no choice. They don't have options. They're done. They don't have there aren't any real big time names that are going to be available, and they have nothing to trade for a big name, unfortunately. So I don't know how they overcome all of this. So the Oladipo move will be a lot of what's gone on lately with this regime. It's kind of a desperation type of move, and that you're hoping for the best to come out of it. When you commit to those four guys, desperation type move. You know, that's the way it is. And to me, that's kind of what's going on. And when you make the Oladipo move, a desperation move, because you know he's a sack of injuries. And sure enough, he broke down. You know, the Jimmy Butler move, kind of a desperation move too, in a way. Because he's really not a legitimate number one. He's not supposed to be the face of your franchise. He's really a Robin, not the Batman, because he can't score in this league the way you need your number one to be. You know what I mean? So there's been a lot of desperation in the moves with the Heat lately. And that move right there, Oladipo, would be a perfect example of a desperation move that you're hoping that he stays healthy and puts together a magical season. And if he does, then maybe you can do something. I don't know about win a title or anything like that, but maybe you can make a little noise, something like that. All right, we got to wrap it up here on the show. We're going to thank OmarKelly and the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Remember, you can podcast it. We will put that interview up. Also, we got to thank Franco Panizo for joining us from Miami Total Football and SBI Soccer. Follow him on Twitter at Franco Panizo. Excellent work as always. If you're an Inter-Miami fan, he is a must follow. Of course, I got to thank everybody that watched, everybody that's downloading the show all over the world. Thank you very much. Whether you're downloading right now, in the middle of the day, at night, whatever, weekends, thank you all out there. Those of you that supported us on the Cash App, Earl and Manuel, thank you out there. Weapon X United coming in on the Super Chat. Thank you all out there. However it is that you support us, we appreciate you immensely. John says, do a crypto dance for the price to go up soon. It's going to go up soon, man. I think we're getting close to that. I think I was right when I said last week, I think there's going to be another week or two of the consolidation period. And last week we were getting some hints that maybe it was going to go up, but it didn't. And it kind of leveled off again. So maybe this is the last week of it and we start to grow and crypto starts to take that rise up. We're getting close to the end of this consolidation period. And once we get there, it's going to be a lot of fun. Those of us that have taken advantage and have bought the dip and watch this thing grow. It's going to be awesome. But anyway, thank you all out there. I appreciate you. We will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, by the way, Manny Navarro will join us for his weekly segment, our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report, and we'll have other guests for you also. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same bat channel. I love you all.